What's up, guys? Prince Sports here for raw, uncut, unbiased sports talk. Now, you guys know that the NBA is suffering in money, right? So they came up with this plan to try to do an NBA extension. Okay, we talked about this on one of my lives, but now I'm hearing more about it. So here's the thing. All right, they want to do two expansion teams for $2.5 billion. That means that's the buy-in. Okay, so that money helps out the NBA. It gives the NBA $5 billion. And every other owner for the other 30 teams, they get money as well if we get two expansion teams. Now, I think this helps the NBA in many ways. For starters, all that unseen draft talent that you say, oh, deserves to be in the NBA, well, now they have an equal chance to get in there because you allow more players to come into the NBA. You allow more players overseas like Luka, or more talented players that may be on the same level as Luka Don that could come into the NBA, and now they could get playing time. And this also expands the careers of guys like Carmelo Anthony if that's what you want to see. So I got to thinking, what are the cities, that should have expansion teams? We went over this a little bit, but according to this report, Seattle and Las Vegas are the top two cities that the NBA wants to make a franchise for. Okay, so then I thought about it and I said, you know what? If they do that, that's 17 teams. That's a total of 17 teams on the Western Conference. Something has to be moved. Something has to be changed. So I came up with this. Look at this. Okay, now as you can see, the NBA layout of all the teams. But if you get two teams on a Western Conference, we got to make space. So why not send either New Orleans, Memphis, or Minnesota to the Eastern Conference? Now, I looked at it, and since New Orleans is still close to Texas, you might as well keep that in the Western Conference. But there's one team, one state that's so close to Indianapolis, Wisconsin, and I forget the last team. Detroit, okay, which is Michigan. So those three teams, as you can see on top, they're right next to Minnesota. So Minnesota technically should be in the Eastern Conference before you even put it in the West. It's like Northeast. So why not pit it right in that division with those three teams, and you got Minnesota that could come over and be the 16th team of the Eastern Conference, allowing the Western Conference to have two expansion teams. Now, this depletes the Western Conference a little bit because you got two new teams, and you can send some of the talent out to the Eastern Conference, which helps the Eastern Conference out a lot. Okay, so Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, and Anthony Edwards have chances of becoming all-stars on the Eastern Conference, this boosting up the competition on the East. And the West gets a little depleted, but they have enough talent as it is to take an impact, for it won't take a negative impact. So that's a good thing. So Minnesota is the team that should go to the Eastern Conference. And why not bring Las Vegas and Seattle basketball teams? Seattle is already up in arms and been waiting for years to get a basketball team. So this is their chance. You could probably bring the Seattle Supersonics back, but then again, the records for that team went over to OKC. So you have to work something out to get that name. You'd be starting a franchise all over again. So the history of it won't count no more, which is kind of weird because Seattle Supersonic history is actually OKC Thunder history. It counts as the same franchise. It just moved. So you have to work something out with the name. But bring the Seattle Supersonics back. And from here on to this report, it says the NBA wanted the Las Vegas Gems. I think that's a whack name. Make it Las Vegas Clubs, Las Vegas Clubs. That's the team that you should make in the NBA. It's related to cards, so you could pit it like, the poker cards or a king or a queen right there in the middle. And so it could symbolize gambling, A lot of players would love to go to Las Vegas. You get a lot of things to intrigue players to come there. But it's also a lot of negative things. You got the gambling, so that'll fuel a gambling addiction. That could be bad for certain players that hit rock bottom. You got all the other stuff, the places you could go to, like James Harden like going to. That could be problematic, and then you got all the other nightlife and all the craziness that take place in Las Vegas. And, you don't want guys on a basketball team to catch the Magic Johnson, so I don't know if NBA is ready for Las Vegas, but it'll be a good city for the players in terms of money, because a lot of money's starting to generate in Las Vegas. They already got a hockey team, football team. Now only thing left is basketball, really. So why not do it? So NBA goes to 32 teams. I'm up for it. What about you? Prince Sports out.